Hi, I'm Kay. I like to create things. And today, in honor of Pride Month, I'm going to make everyone's favorite trap, Astolfo. And I'm going to be doing it out of teeny tiny Legos called Nanoblocks. I'm going to start off with dumping some pink Nanoblocks before realizing that I don't have nearly enough Nanoblocks, so I'm just going to dump a whole truckload more. Okay, now that I've got a hefty amount of bricks, I'm gonna start off building her boots on a base plate. I'm gonna start off with some white 3x2s before adding yellow on top of it for that gold sheen. I don't own any gold nano blocks, so yellow is gonna have to do. I'm then gonna grab some dark gray bricks and then I can start building out his leggings. After that, I'm going to grab some peach colored bricks for her skin tone. And I'm going to strategically place some 2x1s so that we can get some thigh action. If you're wondering why I keep mixing up Astolfo's pronouns, that's because pronouns aren't real. Anyways, with the legs looking sufficiently leg-like, I'm going to begin working on her belt slash skirt. I'm not sure if it's called a skirt or not, because it does have armor on it, and I feel that skirts generally don't have armor, so perhaps there is a more armor-accurate term for this armor. But for now, skirt will suffice. I'm going to freehand stack some dark gray bricks along with some yellow bricks as I attempt to form the curved edges of the skirt. I'm going to try to incorporate some red into my design. After all, there is quite a bit of red on the original skirt as well. I'm going to attempt to build out some curved edges with some white 3x2s, while once again attempting to incorporate some streaks of red without it looking too awkward. And I'm going to continue poking at it with little tiny white and red bricks until I can achieve a shape and color that I'm satisfied with. With a little armor skirt plate thingy looking good enough, I'm going to look for a tiny yellow brick as a nice gold trim to finish it off, before I flip her over to the other side and begin working on doing the exact same thing again. With that done, I'm going to work on refining some of the details of the skirt, once again poking and prodding at it, brick by brick, building it up. I usually like to start from the bottom up, building each part as it comes. Anyways, feeling satisfied with the skirt, I'm going to begin working on his torso. He's got a thin waist, so I'm going to try to translate that the best I can. I'm going to start off by building my base with 2 4x2s and 2 2x1s on either side to give it some dimension. I'm going to build upwards with dark gray bricks, building out the chest, as well as some 4x2 white bricks as I begin building out her cape, which, unbeknownst to me, would be my personal hell. By the way, if you're wondering what's up with the big gash on my hand, it's because my cat Gawain, one day before filming this video, landed a critical hit on me with his scratch attack. So thank you, Gawain, for that. Anyhow, I'm going to keep building up vertically, adding some details as I go. I'm going to mount a single dark gray 2x2 brick as her neck before I begin preparing to mount his peachy head. I'm going to quickly assemble some little arms out of a gray 2x1 and a white 4x1. It does attach to the cape, so I'm making sure to pad out the shoulders as I do want them to extend to the cape. Speaking of cape, I've detached her head and shoulders as I begin building it out. The cape's curved edges make it a little tricky to work with when all you have is squares and rectangles, but I'm gonna keep chipping away at it, trying my best to get a nice curved edge for the cape. Anyways, feeling mostly satisfied with the shape, I'm going to begin adding some accents and details. The interior of Astolfo's cape is lined with red velvet, so I'm going to leave some space for some 1 by whatever blocks so that I can also line the inside of the cape with red bricks. It's important to check the fit every now and then when I'm making the cape to make sure A, it fits, and B, it still looks good. I'm going to keep adding thin red bricks until the interior of the cape is completely enveloped in a sea of red. Feeling satisfied with that for now, I'm going to start adding some more details to the edges of the cape. I'm going to strategically place the remaining red bricks as to give the red a little bit of an angle sloping downwards. And a quick fit check before I call it quits on the cape for now and begin working on the head once more. Gonna grab a tiny orpal brick for her irises, and I'm gonna grab a tiny white brick for the other white parts of her eyeball. Gonna grab some peach bricks for the rest of his head, and I'm going to grab a ton of pink bricks as I begin working on his hair. Unfortunately, I realized that I don't have enough light pink bricks, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use light pink and interweave it with dark pink and hope nobody notices when looking at the figure. I'm gonna add a teeny tiny white 1x1 for that little white streak in her hair as I continue building out the rest of the hair with pink. I'm gonna take some careful care to leave some space for her ponytail later as I continue building out her dome with some pink bricks as well as another white brick, completing the white streak in her hair. And with the front and sides of her face looking pretty good, I'm going to start working on the back of his head. Gonna add more pink before getting some angled black bricks as I make her a cute little black ribbon. I'm gonna lay on even more pink bricks as I begin building out his ponytail, before adding another little bit of black for a second little black ribbon. And I'm going to do a quick fit check to make sure that it still, fits. And I'm going to add some final details on the ponytail before I snap it all into place. Unfortunately for me, sometimes when I try to add things onto other things fall apart, and then I have to go back and address the other things to make sure the other things don't affect the things that I'm trying to add onto the other things. In this case, my cape has fallen apart, so I'm going to have to go back and make some adjustments. I'm going to split apart Astolfo's midsection because the cape is too heavy, and I'm going to try to give the cape some more support. Unfortunately, that's not going very well for me, so I'm going to have to keep poking and prodding at it until it does start going very well for me. As I begin lining the interior with red bricks for the second time. Oh wait, this is the third time. I'm gonna attempt sticking on the rest of her body once again. Before the cape inevitably falls apart once again. After working on the cape for what feels like a million years, I'm finally ready to attempt to stick it in place for hopefully the last time. I'm going to grab the butt end of some tweezers as I attempt to firmly seal the pieces into place. And I'm going to reunite his torso with his feet on his little brown stand. I detached both of her arms earlier, so I'm going to stick them back into place as well. And I'm going to begin working on her sword. Astolfo has a rapier, so I'm going to quickly build the hilt and see how that fits. You might have noticed that my arms just fell off, so I'm going to try to adjust the arms a little bit, and I'm going to add some little clear bricks to help support the arm as well. Of course, in classic Nanoblock fashion, in adjusting the arms, my cape has fallen off again, so I'm gonna have to worry about that later. For now, let's keep building out the sword. I'm gonna swap the white 2x1 in the middle for a corner piece so that Astolfo can actually grip onto the sword, and I'm gonna start building out the blade with little gray rounded 1x1s. I've also taken the liberty to make a teeny tiny Monster Energy can. If you know, you know. And I'm going to grab my trusty tweezer butt as I attempt to stick my bricks into place for the more billionth time. And I'm going to keep poking at it with my tweezers, just making sure that everything is fitted perfectly into place, as it should be. I'm going to add some final detailing onto the cape, just casually obsessing over those little details. Before I once again reunite all of Astolfo's body parts, and it's on to the glamour shots. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. This was my first ever Nanoblock video. If you guys like this kind of content, be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you want me to make next, and of course subscribe. Oh, and share this with your friends too. That's it for now. Bye.